Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are about to decode something truly mind-bending. We're diving headfirst into an alternate cosmic mythology. We're talking about a series of ancient texts and philosophical frameworks that completely reimagines a story you probably thought you knew inside and out. Today, we're exploring the Gnostic Jesus. And look, this isn't just some minor variation on a theme. It's a sweeping, cinematic, and profoundly different way that certain early thinkers viewed the cosmos, divinity, and ultimately humanity's place in the middle of it all. So get comfortable and let's unravel this ancient mystery together. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for the explainer today. First, we'll look at the Gnostic Jesus revealed. Second, Pleroma versus the Demiurge. Third, the bearers of knowledge. And finally, we'll wrap up with the crucifixion illusion. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the Gnostic Jesus revealed, and start shattering some of those familiar expectations. To really wrap our heads around the Gnostic view, we kind of need to just temporarily toss the traditional mainstream narrative out the window. Now, traditionally, you have the concept of a God-man who atones for the sins of humanity, dies, and is resurrected, right? But the texts we're looking at today impartially point out a total paradigm shift. In this framework, the Gnostic Jesus is explicitly not the God-man. He isn't the son of the creator of the material world. He doesn't atone for sins, he doesn't die, and he definitely doesn't resurrect in the physical sense. So what is he then? Well, instead, he's considered the pure embodiment of the highest divine light. His primary purpose in this specific philosophical framework isn't some sort of physical sacrifice. Actually, his mission is entirely educational and revelatory. He's a messenger sent to hand over vital, hidden knowledge to help people escape a literal world of darkness. You can almost think of it as a cosmic rescue mission of the mind and spirit, rather than an atonement of the flesh. Moving right along to section 2, Pleroma versus the Demiurge. Let's do some cosmic world building. Now, what's really fascinating to me about this mythology is the scale of the world it builds. It honestly reads almost like high fantasy or deep sci-fi. First up, we have the Pleroma. In Gnostic texts, the Pleroma is the true ultimate divine realm. Picture it as the absolute kingdom of divine fullness. It's the source of the highest divine light, just an incomprehensible depth of purity and truth. This is exactly where the Gnostic Jesus originates, and it's the ultimate end-goal destination for enlightened human souls. Basically, it's perfection. But every epic story needs an antagonist, right? In stark contrast to the Pleroma, we have the villain of this cosmic drama, the Demiurge, who is sometimes called Yaldabaoth. In this belief system, the Demiurge is the haughty, deeply flawed creator of our physical, material universe. And here is the real twist. The Gnostics viewed this material world not as a blessing or a beautiful creation, but as a realm of darkness, ignorance, and spiritual blindness. And the Demiurge, he actively seeks to keep humanity trapped right here, totally unaware of the true divine spark inside them that actually connects them back to the Pleroma. Which brings us perfectly to section 3, the bearers of knowledge, and finding salvation through truth. So the absolutely crucial question is this. If the physical material world is literally a trap designed by the Demiurge, how do you get out? Well, in this philosophical system, salvation isn't achieved through repentance or atonement. No way. Salvation is achieved strictly through hidden knowledge, which they called gnosis. Now, for anyone familiar with traditional texts, the bearers of this knowledge usually bring a massive plot twist. Because the Gnostics believed the Demiurge wanted to keep humanity blind, anyone who rebelled against that creator to bring hidden knowledge to humans was actually seen as a hero. That means figures we traditionally view as the ultimate villains, like the serpent in Eden offering the fruit of knowledge, or Cain, or even Judas Iscariot, were sometimes interpreted by various Gnostic sects as bearers of truth, actively defying the haughty Demiurge's rules. But even with those frankly radical reinterpretations of biblical figures, the leading Gnostic philosophers still position Jesus as the absolute primary ultimate messenger of this truth. He's the one who decisively cuts through all the illusions of the material world to deliver the ultimate knowledge about the Pleroma, and to pull back the curtain on the cosmic drama happening behind the scenes. There's this fantastic quote that beautifully captures this from the early Christian Gnostic theologian Valentinus. He wrote, "Through him, he enlightened those who were in darkness because of oblivion. He enlightened them and indicated a path for them, and that path is the truth which he taught them." Oblivion. I just love that word choice. That is exactly how they viewed human existence under the Demiurge, a state of total, absolute spiritual amnesia. His entire mission, according to this text, was to give us a path out of that oblivion. And that path wasn't a physical road, and it wasn't a set of religious rituals. The path was simply the truth itself. All right, let's head into our final section, section 4, the crucifixion illusion and the grand escape to the pleroma. So if you've got this entity of pure light from the pleroma, bringing forbidden knowledge right into the dark material world of the demiurge, what happens when he gets captured? This leads us to a truly radical reinterpretation of the crucifixion itself. To understand it, we have to look at how these philosophers viewed Jesus' physical body. Marcion believed Jesus was a messenger acting out of sudden, materialized pity and compassion for completely benighted humankind under the demiurge. But Basilides took this even further. He adhered to the belief that this divine entity was entirely devoid of materiality, like zero physical substance. His human form was merely a deceptive, illusory carnal shell. He only seemed human. This concept is sometimes called Docetism, and let me tell you, it's the absolute key to everything that happens next. Because he wasn't really physical, the texts claim the crucifixion wasn't really the result of persecution by human authorities. The humans were basically just pawns on a cosmic chessboard. The real cause was the fury and indignation of what the texts call the error, which is personified by the demiurge and his ruling entities, known as the archons. They suddenly realized this messenger of light was waking humanity up, threatening their total control, and so they desperately, furiously lashed out to destroy him. But remember, you literally cannot kill pure non-material light. The famous writer Jorge Luis Borges summed up the views of the philosopher Basilides with this incredibly cinematic quote. He wrote, "His impassive phantasm hung publicly on the cross, but the essence of Christ passed through the superimposed heavens and was restored to the pleroma." It's just a stunning visual. The physical body up there on the cross was just a semblance, a mirage that was only required because human beings have imperfect perception and we need something physical to look at. We can actually break down Borges' description of these ancient beliefs into what is essentially an epic, stealthy, 3-step cosmic escape sequence. Step 1. Leave the impassive phantasm, that fake physical shell hanging on the cross. This fools the demiurge and provides a semblance for flawed human perception. Step 2. Because the true essence of Christ knows the secret, incomparable names of all the divinities, angels, and powers guarding the layers of heaven, he uses them like cosmic passwords to slip right through the superimposed heavens completely unharmed. Step 3. Keep these mysteries in absolute silence. Just as the Redeemer passed through invisibly, the true Gnostic believer who holds this hidden knowledge will also pass through the cosmos, totally unrecognized by the dark powers. It totally flips the script, doesn't it? It takes a story we pretty much all know and turns it into this massive cosmic battle of light versus ignorance, illusions, and secret knowledge. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. How does understanding these lost, alternate cosmic mythologies change the way we view the fragility and flexibility of historical narratives? When completely different, incredibly complex interpretations like this existed side by side with mainstream views thousands of years ago, what does that tell us about how humanity constructs meaning? Think about that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I really hope this deep dive sparked your curiosity to explore even more ancient philosophical texts. Catch you next time.